welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. Happy New Year, happy 2023 to everyone. I want to wish everyone a very happy and safe New Year. Now I am recording this on New Year's Eve, so I'm not sure when this video is going to drop, but I just want to get on here and say thank you, all of you, for being part of the RDT family community. I am so very grateful for each and every one of you. You guys, we did it. I reached 21,000 subscribers, so thank you very much for all of you who have been supporting me from the very beginning and all of my brand new RDT family members. We have a lot of fun here on this channel and I am so eternally grateful. We also surpassed the 1,000 subscriber mark on my other YouTube channel, Royal Daily Tea History and Fashion. We have over 1,200 subscribers. So thank you guys very much for that. But I thought it'd be really fun today to do a second part of my 2023 Royal predictions. Now again, this is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm not a psychic or a medium. This is just for fun. So I hope that you enjoy this video. So sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So the very first prediction I have for 2023 part 2 is I do believe that these Sussexes will finally sell their Montecito mansion and they're going to make a really big move. I do see them buying a very swanky New York City apartment in the same neighborhood as her bestie Glow, you know, Gloria Steinem, and down the street from the United Nations. But I do believe that Harry and Meghan are going to buy a large luxury apartment in New York City. Now, I do believe they're still going to live in California as well. They're going to buy a much smaller house, possibly in a different neighborhood, as Montecito doesn't seem to be that great of a neighborhood for them. You never see them out and about, and their neighbors don't seem to be real fond of them, according to the word on the street. So I believe they're going to finally sell that money pit of a mansion, possibly to a friend, maybe some kind of businessman of Russian or Saudi Arabian nature. But I do believe that they are going to sell their house, buy a smaller house, and then also buy a New York City apartment, and they're going to live between New York City and California. So I do see Harry's book Spare dropping to a lot of fanfare and a lot of press. It's going to do well for the first 2 or 3 weeks, but I think it's going to fall flat, much like a Diet Coke that has been left on the counter too long. I think it's going to be all fizzle, and then it's going to fizzle out, much like their Netflix docuseries. Now, I do believe that Harry is going to drop some new bombshells, and he's going to drag his father and Camilla through the mud, pretty much blaming them for his mother's death. If you remember on the Dak Shepard podcast, Harry made some pretty damaging comments against the royal family and the, quote, institution, saying that they were not happy that his mother, Princess Diana, was dating a man, Dodi Al-Fayed, who was not white. So he was pretty much implicating into the conspiracy theory that he believes the royal family might have had a hand in the unaliving of his mother, and then he never mentioned that comment again. So he makes this damaging accusation, and then we never hear about it. So I'm wondering if he's going to bring it up in his book again, saying how his father and the institution were not happy with Princess Diana's dating choices, that his mother was pretty much kind of a dangerous woman. You know, she was something they couldn't control. She was very popular, and that was very dangerous to the monarchy. So I do believe he might make some references and pretty much blame Charles for his mother's death, saying if they weren't divorced, if Charles wasn't having an affair with Camilla, maybe they would still be married. I don't know, but I've heard some rumors he's going to drag Camilla and Charles through the mud because he is talking about his childhood and the marriage of his parents. So I do think the book is going to come out with a bang, but it's going to fall very quickly. much like their Netflix docuseries. Now, I also see the Sussexes, they're not getting any more deals. Their deals have dried up. They're kind of right now fulfilling their contracts. That's what I think they're doing, is they're fulfilling their contracts. They've sold their soul to the highest bidder. So now they're just going through the motions, doing what they're supposed to do, and then they want to move forward. According to them, they want to let it go and just focus on their charitable work. So I do think in 2023, the Duke and Duchess of Do-Gooders, or should we say do nothing, are going to double down on their charity work. Literally, you guys, I predict Meghan Markle is going to turn into Mother Teresa. She's going to be saving kittens from trees and rescuing babies from burning buildings, you guys. Meghan Markle is going to become the superhero martyr woman of charity for 2023. She's going to work really hard to get more awards, guys, okay? That's going to be her thing. It's going to be Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to the rescue of humanity for 2023. So they're going to double down after all the dirty laundry they dumped. They're going to clean up their image with all of this do-good charity work. So be prepared, guys, to see a lot of the Duke and Duchess of Do-Good in 2023. The problem is, no matter what they do, all of that negativity that they put out into the universe is going to overshadow all of the supposed, quote, humanitarianism that these two do, but it's going to be worse in 2023. They're going to double down on it, guys, and we're going to see a lot of powerful puff pieces about Meghan, the superhero, leaping a tall building at a single bound and saving the universe in 2023. Now, to go along with that, I do believe that Prince Harry could possibly release his mental health podcast. If you remember, they did mention this briefly back in 2022, that Meghan was going to branch off from the Archwell Audio, where they had initially had their show that was together. Then Meghan decided to go off and do her feminist archetype, and that Harry was going to do his own podcast talking about mental health. So I believe Harry could possibly launch his mental health podcast in 2023, as if we haven't heard the man mumble on enough about his mental health and his struggles about the death of his mummy over 6 to 8 episodes. And it's going to be extremely boring, and it's going to flop even more than archetypes. Now, I do see the Duke and Duchess of Wales having some very successful tours of Australia next year. I think the Commonwealth is going to be strengthened next year, and they're going to rally around Camilla, Charles, and the Waleses. I do believe a lot of people are going to be on the side of the royal family. So all of the work that the Sussexes are doing to discredit them are not going to work. I also see that Kate is going to do double the amount of engagements next year. A lot of people have been criticizing Kate for only doing around 90 engagements, but she has 3 children at home. Not to mention she was the Duchess of Cambridge, but now as the Princess of Wales, she has taken on more responsibilities along with Prince William. So I do believe that Catherine and William are going to double the amount of engagements that they did in 2023. Now, I also do not see Harry and Meghan going to the coronation. I believe they're invited, but I think after the book comes out, I don't think Harry and Meghan are going to show for the coronation, guys. If they do, I will be extremely shocked. Extremely shocked. I do not believe that Charles is going to apologize to them. I know they were very upset after Lady Susan Hussey gave that apology to Ngozi Fulani, but I do not believe that King Charles is going to apologize. He might be willing to say, we can try to work out the relationship, you can come here, but he's not going to grovel and apologize to these 2 grifters for anything. I don't think Meghan and Harry are going to go to the coronation, because if they do, it's going to be very, very bad. I don't think the people are going to hold back on their opinions. The last couple of times Harry and Meghan went back to the UK, it was in celebration of the Queen. It was the Queen's Platinum Jubilee and the Queen's funeral. And the other time was for Philip's funeral. So going for King Charles's coronation, they don't have the protection of the Queen there. So I think the people might be throwing some tomatoes and loud boos to Harry and Meghan. Not to mention, that was all before the docuseries and his book came out. So there's going to be more trash that Harry and Meghan are going to be flinging at the royal family. And quite frankly, I think the people of the UK have had their fill, and I think their graciousness has run out. I also think that the title bill, will pass in Parliament, and so that's going to make it a very, very interesting year for people like Prince Andrew and the Sussexes. So I think they're walking on thin ice, and Parliament's not playing around. I think Parliament is sick of it. King Charles himself is not going to make that step, but I think Parliament's going to push his hand and say, if you don't do it, sir, we'll do it for you, with the full backing of the people of the UK. So I think Harry and Meghan, their days are numbered with their titles. Now, a lot of people are talking about Meghan is supposedly coming out with a book. That has not been officially announced. There's this trailer called Unforgiven. I don't think that has anything to do with Meghan. There's a person on YouTube who makes trailers for movies that never seem to materialize. So I'm not sure if I believe that Unforgiven is her book, but we all know that Meghan does have her secret diaries. I do predict that Meghan is going to come out with a tell-all book, but I don't think it's going to be until after her and Harry separate and divorce. But she could come out with a different book in the meantime that's going to be full of a lot of fluff and no substance, basically. So Meghan could come out with a book probably 2024, but I don't think the Slam book is going to be until at least 2025. So if you remember in a video I had done previously, I told you that Meghan Markle gives me these very weird cult leader vibes. That I think by the year 2030, Meghan Markle is going to be divorced from Harry, possibly with some billionaire boyfriend, living on an exclusive island like in the Bahamas or the Maldives, where they're going to run this very metaphysical resort where only the uber elites and the rich go to, people like Gwyneth Paltrow. And I do see them joining forces, or at least Meghan is going to be in contact, guys, with Princess Martha Louise and Shaman Jurek. If you remember, this princess got herself in a little bit of trouble when she got engaged to Shaman Jurek. They ran some metaphysical seminars called The Princess and the Shaman, where he believes that he can cure cancer. He has told people he's a reptilian. She speaks to angels. They do a lot of these healings, and they're friends with a lot of people in Hollywood, like Gwyneth Paltrow. I believe they also live in Los Angeles. So what is the likelihood of two ex-royals and two ex-royals joining forces for some kind of metaphysical hippy-dippy retreat? We all saw in the docuseries that Harry and Meghan were doing that bowl singing and the meditation, and Harry does the tapping. So I'm not that far off, guys, that they could join forces to do these kind of seminars for the rich and famous. But I believe Meghan is totally going to go balls to the wall with this hippy-dippy stuff by 2030 and have her community of people. She has very cult-like leader vibes, but I believe by the time her and Harry divorce, 2025 and beyond, when she's given up all of her Hollywood dreams, she's going to go off and start making thousands and thousands of dollars off of those seminars. And I can kind of see her, hooking up with the other two royals. That would make a lot of sense. They have a lot of things in common. That's just my theory. Now, my last prediction is kind of going toward 2023 to 2030. Again, this is for entertainment purposes only, but I do believe that Harry and Meghan will divorce between 2025, 2027. Now, I do see by 2030 that Prince Harry will be back by his brother's side. I do believe that William might be king by 2030, and he's going to need his brother. I do see Harry remarried to another woman and possibly another child. And I do believe that the woman he chooses this time around is going to be a better fit. She's going to be like a Sophie and a Kate, a woman who's not about herself, but more about serving others. And she's going to do very well in the royal fold and support her husband in the way he needs to be supported without making it about herself. Meaning she's going to be the opposite of Meghan. She doesn't want the limelight. She just wants to be a wife and serve people. And I think she's going to be a really good choice. Now, I do believe that Meghan by 2030 will be on her island resort with her billionaire boyfriend or husband. And she's going to have that very exclusive resort and, hippy-dippy commune. That's all I have, guys, for my future predictions for 2023 to 2030. Let me know if you agree with any of these predictions and if you have any of your own. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and my channel, and I want to wish everyone a very happy and safe 2023. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye, guys.